Io, just what did you think of Kipper's performance tonight? What did you see out of him?
It was great. He played great on both ends of the floor. He talked. It was great to see because knowing how lately he's been struggling and he really couldn't find his shot, and then see him come out and play strong and make shots and take charges. It was tough. I was glad for him.
Thanks, Io.
Kipper, you came out and took a shot right away, a turnaround jumper that was tough and made it. Just were you feeling different today, or was it through the course of the game?
Just trusting in the work that I put in and day out. Got some open looks, and was fortunate enough to knock them down. So. Right here.
Has this been what's it been like going through you've gone through a rough patch here. What's it been like going through this and now to have this? How does it feel, being able to bounce back?
It feels good, We got a great, locker room full of great guys, great coaches that have the utmost confidence in me. And, like I said earlier, if we do the right thing collectively, we'll be fine. So,
just Kipper, just where were you at mentally during that tough stretch for you?
It's tough, but it's not about me. It's about guy 1 through 16. So, when we went to the Garden and knocked off number 13, I was just as elated as everybody in the locker room. Next game we took a loss, I was just as mad as everybody else. It's about all these guys in the locker room and the work we put in every day. We struggle together, we succeed together, and that's what it's all about.
In the back.
Kipper not only having that bounce-back game, but leading the team in scoring, getting a big win to open up this homestand. How important is it to kind of start out this homestand with a win for you guys?
Very. This was the most important game on our schedule. Why? Because it was the next game, and Michigan State is now the most important game on our schedule. So we're taking it one day at a time, and we're going to continue to work our butts off, man, day in and day out. So,
Kendrick.
This is for either one of you. You were going to get this question about the free throws at the end of the game. Was that contagious, just bad luck, or what do you think?
I feel like we just missed them. We normally make them. It was one of those days where you just miss. We work on free throws a lot, and it was crazy because yesterday, the day before the game, that's all we did was shot free throws. So, we just missed them, but we know what we got to work on. We know we got to keep working on them.
Kipper, would you say it's more of just a confidence thing for you and just seeing those first couple shots fall, to kind of gain that confidence and maybe not be hesitant on offense maybe?
No, I work on my game. I trust in the work. If I'm missing shots, this basketball, the smart thing to do is find guys who are hot, whether that's this guy, Trent, 1 through 16, Georgie, AJ, Dre. We got 16 guys that, we have the utmost confidence in, and, we try to play the right way, and that, ultimately will give us the best chance to win. So.
Kipper, similar to that question, just take us through what was going on in your head in the first half. You came out hot, kept hitting shots, finished with 10 points. What was going through your head at that time?
It's good to see the ball go in. But what was going on in my head at that time was the same thing that was going on in my head with 6 seconds left in the second half to win. So just making the right plays, right reads, and like I said, I was fortunate enough to get a couple open looks. These guys found me and knocked them down. So.
While you're going through the psychoanalysis here, I know that you had some tough defensive matchups that I saw. I remember some particularly aggressive struggles that you had in the last few games, and I felt like you were really focusing on defense. Is that accurate? Yeah.
That's very important, not only to me but the whole team, and I think. That's what we want our identity to be on a defensive end, and we do that. We give ourselves a chance to win a lot of ball games.
Scott.
Kipper, I know the coaches said you've been in the gym extra, just getting shots up and putting extra work in. How much would you say you've been in there, maybe just beyond the regular practice time?
Always. You can catch me in there whenever. With this guy, we all, that's something we pride ourselves on, is just working on our game. But as basketball players, it happens. You got slumps mentally. Shots not going in. Offense is fleeting. it comes and goes. So the thing that's most important is, you know, locking in on the defensive end, and the greatest basketball players make plays, you know, whatever it may be. So,
Brad?
The first time you played Nebraska, you struggled a little bit with their length. How do you, as you go the second time through and seeing these teams again as a freshman, how does that help you? How do you grow through that process?
It's all about watching film, growing. I feel like I'm a much different player than I was when I played them. I wanted to get this win because, like, that was the first time. That was my first Big Ten game. And I feel like physically they got me physically and they got the team. Man, it's overwhelmed us. So I told the team, like, this is the second time around. Now we're better defensively. We're more into our roles. And it was fun.
Jeremy?
Iowa, besides giving up second chance points defensively, you really bothered them. What do you guys think you did with Palmer, force him to be inefficient? Watson obviously kind of took out of the game. What do you guys do well?
I mean, we just have a lot of good players that pride in defense, and they want to take the challenge to guard the best players in this league and the best players on each team. We knew that with their best player, one of their best players, Copeland, being out, that Palmer, Watson, and Roby were going to try to go and get more shots up. So we knew that we had to come together and guard. And it's not just on the personal guarding them. We had great help side. We had a lot of great Mozgovs in the back and forced them to take tough shots.
Scott?
It's maybe for either one of you. You know, Georgie's brother was here for this game. What was it like having two Bogdanovich around?
His twin. It was cool. He's a little bit different than Georgie. Georgie a little more outspoken, as you all know. But, yeah, it was cool having the fam around. Anytime you get to know a teammate better, you know, it's always good.
There was a little bit more intensity, you know, in the second half, especially, you know, when Andre got that tech and, you know, you guys were just playing with a little bit more fire and spark. What was it about this particular game that brought that out of you guys? Because you guys seemed to really, you know, take that and run with it, and that put you on that big run in the second half, just playing with the intensity.
We just play hard. Each and every game we try to play hard. We don't take nothing personal. We try to go at whoever we play against. That's our motto.
Well, I was the late game free throw coach this week, and we'll have to get that changed tomorrow. I thought by far and away, from a defensive standpoint, I thought it was our best all-around game defensively. We really challenged our guys with Watson and Palmer. We had to make Palmer's touches hard. We didn't in the first game. He scored. He's a really good player. He's really talented. And yet 22 points on 20 shots. You take a few silly fouls away that we committed in the first half, and I thought our job was outstanding. I thought we had them sped up. I thought we had them out of sync. And then we just did a tremendous job on Watson. And Trent was off the chart in the first half defensively. He got a couple fouls, but then Dre came in, and our pressure was really, really good. But disappointed in the offensive rebounds we gave up. We talked about it to Borchardt's credit. We put on our board MVP in his role, and that's what he does. And give that young man a lot of credit. He gave them a lot of extra possessions. We've got to clean that up, obviously, before Tuesday. But overall, I thought offensively we were good. I thought we got out and opportunistic in transition. Our shooting percentage was evident of that. We established the paint early, and then made some timely shots and held on. Made it too interesting with the missed free throws down the stretch. But all in all, found a way to win with our defense, and I thought it was outstanding.
Questions? Jeremy?
Brad, just when you think you've figured out Kipper Nichols, he comes out and has this performance. When did you know the light was on? Was it in practice? Was it something he did today?
Yeah, and I'm really happy for Kip, and I'm really took the approach to almost coach him like he wasn't a member of our team. And I don't mean that as in any way that I really left him alone. And I thought maybe he had a few too many people in his ear, including me. And he's resilient. He's never stopped being a great teammate. He's never stopped being a great locker room guy. He's always got the smile. He's always cheering his teammates on. And the last 2 days in practice, the ball started going in for him. And we saw a different effort level. We saw a different tenacity on the glass. Not only was Kipper scoring tonight, he was really good on the other end. So couldn't be happier. And we needed it all.
Last Saturday, you get a great performance from Tevion. Today, you get a great performance from Kipper from that position. How important is that? I mean, does that make you much more competitive going forward with your guard play that you have and Georgie emerging inside, having that wing player who can do those things?
Well, you just go back a game and go back to the Minnesota game, and it was a tough night for our wings there, and both of those guys included. When those guys are very, very capable of having big nights and being very productive. DeMonte does his role, and I mean he plays his role. His job early on Palmer was fantastic. That won't even be talked about by you guys. It's talked about in our locker room a lot because he made his touches really, really hard. And but when we get production offensively, yeah, that helps Iowa. It helps Trent. It opens the floor. We can play with a different speed and pace. And then, we expected a double team on Georgie. Couldn't get it because of those guys making shots. And they jumped in zone. And, we were able to really get the ball wherever we wanted. So that helps.
Tyler?
Coach, you got your third conference win today. At the same point of the season last year, you had two. How would you assess this team after this last month of conference play?
Oh, it's not. I got to be careful because I don't want to say anything in a negative light about last year, but we're light years ahead in terms of our locker room, our competitive spirit and fire. I love the way these guys. We went an hour and 15 minutes today, taped, dressed, ready to roll and shoot around, and I mean these guys are eager, and our mistakes are a lot of youthful, inexperienced mistakes, but I think we're growing. I think we see it every day when you see a Tevian, when you see an Allen, when you see a guy like Kipper who's been struggling come back, and and obviously Iowa and Georgia have proven that they can do it against the best in the country.
Brett in the back.
Brad, is this the Kipper you thought you were getting at the beginning of the year, and how does that change your dynamic of your team?
We'll see. It just adds to it. Kipper was a guy who was not real consistent last year, and we wanted that. We needed Kipper to be consistent. We knew that was at a position that we were going to be young. Not having Adonis early. We knew Georgie was going to have to play a lot of five, and there was going to be some situations when Kipper was going to have to move around a little bit. But I'm not looking too much in the past now. I'm looking ahead with him and what he can make our team. There's a lot of versatility there. Now we're starting to see Tevian back with his sea legs under him. He, still making a freshman mistake on a free throw block out and does some of those things. But Kipper definitely helps our dynamic.
Scott?
I mean, in the last 5 games, he only attempted 2 shots, and there were times where it didn't look like he was even maybe looking to score. Just was there a different confidence about him? Did making that turnaround early help? Or?
Well, I think I think it stems from practice. I mean, you practice well, and this game is very, very mental, and it can be anyway. And he just all guys go through it at some point. You see a shooting slump or whatever, but his last 2 days of practice have been very good, and we've seen that change. But more importantly, it started with him being a great teammate and never questioning, never doubting. Happy for Tevian when he played well in the Garden, and that speaks to his character. That's why I'm so happy for him.
Eric?
Just coming into this game, did you feel like you might have to put Kip at the 5? Tim mentioned that he thought you might have done that for pick and pop situations, or was that kind of just foul trouble with Georgie?
Well, Kip can play there and cause a lot of matchups and a lot of matchup problems. We ran 2 or 3 sets. Kipper's a guy I like to scheme a lot with, and based on their matchup, and we ran a lot of stuff where two-man game. We popped him. He got a clean look. We ran a couple actions to him to get a clean look, and then we ran a post-up play to him. So he's a guy that gives us versatility, and it's all based on matchups, and he can be pretty effective in those.
Back here.
Adonis is the only guy who shot more than 50% from the line today. But other than that, what else did he bring today?
Well, he gives us physicality, and there's no doubt about that. I mean, you start having to slam bodies with 270 pounds every trip, and he's a low post presence. We're going to try to take advantage of him when he's there. We're going to make sure that he gets some touches, and then defensively, he takes up a lot of room, and we happen to play a little more zone, maybe when he was in the ball game today, but he's a guy that creates and takes up a lot of space.
Bob,
Coach, you had Kenny Battle sitting courtside during the game. What does that mean to have those guys back?
I wish I had somebody who jumped as high as him, but. That team was really special, and I've always said it. The best part about Illinois is we're the 11th ranked program in the history of college basketball, and that means you have great players, and we want those guys to feel like that Champaign, the State Farm Center, this building, this is their home, and they can go out there in front of their fans and be recognized and remembered, and it's what makes Illinois basketball elite, and our guys understand and know who Kenny is, and they know the bobbleheads and the '89 and the Final Fours, and those guys are very well aware of where he's been, and they want to get there.
You kind of answered it, but could he play for you?
Oh, we'd run. We'd run really, really fast and throw a lot of lobs with him. And we could have used him on the glass as well.
Kid.
Did Kenny have a chance to talk to the players before the game or after the game?
He didn't before the game. I spoke with him after the game. Before the game, it gets pretty busy, pretty hectic, and we keep things pretty much on a same routine for that.
Isaac.
Brad, how important was it for you to see Alan Griffin dive on the floor for that loose ball and then also knock down that 3-2?
That's what Alan does, man. He does it every day in practice for 170 pounds, and he throws his body around, and he's an elite shooter, and I mean an elite shooter. And he's a guy that I watched him the other day at Minnesota, jump up and make 23 in a row. And but 21 of them didn't hit the rim. I mean, he's going to be a guy that when his time comes, he's going to be an elite shooter. And every time he shoots it, we want to get him shots. And he's another piece that we keep adding to this puzzle.
Coach, the offensive balance you had today, does that tell you, a lot about this team meshing into their roles and finding a way to play together?
I think we're getting better in our roles. I don't want to say we're defined yet. That's been part of the challenge with Tev being out. It's been part of the challenge with Kipper's struggles is finding how all the pieces come together. I say I love the locker room, and we keep working, we keep doing that, and you throw Dre in that mix, you throw Adonis in that mix, and I'm starting to have some comfort going to the bench and feeling more comfortable when I substitute and knowing how we want to do that.
To the left.
Coach, Dosunmu had only 2 assists, but it looked like he maybe should have had a lot more with some of the passes he made today. How would you evaluate his passing ability?
It's elite. It's an elite level. I mean, it's the one thing that we feel great when he's got the ball in his hands. There's an advantage being 6'5". And being able to see over people, his feel, his IQ is now that's elite. Now his understanding is catching up and understanding our system and where those looks are going to be and the throwbacks and we talk every day where teams support or tag from and on our roles and he makes those reads and we missed some shots and very easily could have had 5, 6, 7 assists, but it's the reads that everybody fears.
Eric.
Coach, earlier in the season, Georgie had his mother come visit him, and today he has his brother for, I think, 10 days or so. What do you think it means for him just to have more family in the stands, just seeing him play?
He's so proud. His brother's never been here, and he's so proud to have his brother here and to get to see him play. And Georgie's so in love with this place. And so excited. He couldn't wait to. He kept telling me, "Caves, I can't wait to show off Illinois and our campus and get to see him play." His brother's first words to me yesterday was, "Coach, it's really nice to meet you," and I'm embarrassed for his free throw shooting. So he said, "I'm going to get that handled." But no, it means a lot to him.
Rob,
Aaron Jordan plus 15, by far the biggest point differential for any Illini.
Yeah, good day. When I thought Aaron defensively was as good, he started at a disadvantage from a size standpoint, but it was his job on Roby. They tried running a lot of offense through Roby today, and Aaron did a good job early. They didn't put him in a lot of post ups, which we feared. That was attributed to our perimeter defense as well. But I thought Aaron was great, and he fought and competed, and I was very, very pleased with his day.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay.